Hello everyone. Today we'll talk about inheritance. Inheritance can only be used for class. It cannot be used for struct and enum, unlike the properties and methods. This is probably the biggest thing where a class differs from a struct. For example, here we have a class vehicle which has a property of current speed and a constant property of name and a method called makeSound. And then we have a class bike, which is derived from vehicle, and the bike will override the function of makeSound. So the vehicle's makeSound doesn't do anything. The bike overrides the makeSound method to print out ding ding speed equal to current speed. And then we create a b equal to bike and b makeSound. This will call the bike's version of the makeSound. This is a method overriding, which you probably are very familiar with. Swift also supports property overriding. So the vehicle has a property of current speed, and we have another class bike2 also derived from vehicle, but bike2 will override the current speed of the vehicle. And a property is overridden through the getter and the setters. So the bike2's version of the getter returns the superclass's current speed plus 10. Note that you use the keyword super to refer to a property or a method from the parent class. And the setter is just assign a new value to the superclass's current speed. Note that if you have overridden the getter, you must override the setter. This is because the current speed is a var in the vehicle class. So if you only override the getter and not overriding the setter, then current speed become a read-only variable, which is not good. Vehicle also has a property called name, which is a constant, and naturally this property can also be overridden. And here is where a name is overridden. Note that in the parent class, name is a constant, but when you override it, you have to change its type to var. This is because the computed property cannot be a constant. It has to be a var. But this doesn't change the fact that the name is a read-only variable, because we only have defined the getter for the name. And now we create b2 equal to bike2. b2 current speed will return the new value of the current speed, which is 10. b2.name will return bike. Not only can you override a property or method of a class, you can also override the observers of a class. For example, we have a truck which is also derived from vehicle, and we are overriding the observers for the property of current speed, will set and did set. Now every time the current speed is changed, the will set function will be invoked right before the change, and did set function will be invoked right after the change. One thing to remember is that if you have overridden the setter, you cannot override the observer of the property. And vice versa, if you have overridden the observers of the property, you cannot override the setter. This is for the same reason that we have talked about in the properties video. If you don't want any member of the class to be overridden, you can use the keyword final to seal it. So the current speed cannot be overridden by any children class from vehicle 2. And same thing for makeSound function and the subscript. They all cannot be overridden. You can also use the keyword final to seal the entire class so that the class cannot be inherited from. So nobody can create a new class that is derived from vehicle 3. One important usage of inheritance is for polymorphism. For example, we have a class car also derived from vehicle, and the car overrides the function of makeSound to do its own thing. And then we create an array which contains a bike, a car, and a bike. Now think, what will be the type of A? Would it be an array of bike or array of car? It turns out A is an array of vehicle. This is again where the magic of type inference happens. Swift will look at the types of every items in the array and find a common ancestor of all these types, and use that type for the array. And then for v in A, we do v.makeSound. This will first call bikes make sound, and then cars make sound, and then bikes make sound. This is so-called polymorphism. Thank you for watching. Feel free to download the notes from my website and practice with it. See you next time.